National Industrial Court, Benin City, Edo State has restrained parties in the suit challenging the dissolution of the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission, EDSIEC, from taking any further steps that could render the court's final judgment ineffective. Trial judge in the matter is Justice A. Adewemimo. The suit is brought by the former EDSIEC chairman, Justice James Oyemire, retired, and 6 other members, namely Mrs. Gladys Idahwa, Uduafi Gabriel, Mr. Felix Ebota, Mr. Anthony Ekokuyon, Mr. Michael Ekaisomi, and Mr. Vincent Aimienota. Through their counsel, Gabriel Uduafia, they are challenging their removal by Governor Mondo Kwebelo when their tenure is yet to expire. Defendants include the Governor of Edo State, the Attorney General and the Commissioner for Justice, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Jonathan Aifio Bokan, and the newly appointed members of the reconstituted govt Commission, Aisain Victor, Igomo Thomas, Imafidon Osaro Dion, Dr. Suleiman Okoria, Anthony Aikpo Jome, Umoro Frank, and Aremiyo Momo. The claimants are seeking declaration that the dissolution was unconstitutional and are asking the court to stop the governor from inaugurating the new commission pending the resolution of the suit. In an interim order dated July 22, 2025, the court restrained all parties from taking any action that may preempt or frustrate the court's judgment. The order followed submissions by Counsel Oduafi, who informed the court that despite a pending motion for interlocutory injunction, the fourth defendant, Aifu Bokan, had gone ahead to issue a timetable for local government elections. Justice Adewemimo affirmed that it is a settled principle of law that parties must not engage in acts capable of rendering a court decision nugatory. The judge also noted that the death of the first claimant, Justice Oyomire, does not affect the validity of the suit as the remaining claimants are still active parties. In the affidavit supporting the application, the late Oyomire stated that he and other claimants were duly appointed on March 23, 2022 for a 5-year tenure ending March 23, 2027. He argued that under the Nigerian Constitution and relevant Edo laws, members of EDSIEC can only be removed for proving misconduct or incapacity and with a 2/3 resolution of the House of Assembly, conditions not met in their case. He recounted that on December 17, 2024, they learned through the media of a government special announcement by Governor Okwebelo dissolving all state commissions, including EDSIEC, and directing members to hand over government property. The claimant said they were neither notified beforehand nor officially served with any dissolution letter despite their constitutionally guaranteed tenure. The legal team subsequently issued a protest letter dated December 23, 2024, which was ignored. Having received no response or reversal of the action, they approached the court seeking declarations and injunctive reliefs. The claimants argued that the matter raises fundamental constitutional questions regarding tenure security and rule of law. They contended that the balance of convenience is in their favor, as the defendants would suffer no harm if the status quo is maintained. They also pledged to indemnify the defendants if the application proves frivolous. In their suite, the claimants retreated that they were appointed for a fixed term and could only be removed for cause following due constitutional process, which did not occur. They also sought to restrain the new appointees from assuming EDSIEC duties until the matter is resolved. Additionally, they demanded payment of 484,898,056,055 in outstanding salaries from November 2024 to March 2027, with 23% annual interest alongside 100 million naira in aggravated damages and 35 million naira for legal fees. The suit argues that the purported dissolution of the commission on December 17, 2024 violates both the Nigerian Constitution and applicable Edo State law. We have in the court dissolving EDSIEC from being inaugurated. What's your take on this story?
No, stopping them from being inaugurated, yeah, not dissolving them. Mike, you know, Nigeria is a theater of drama. And I must commend you for your rendition. This is really, commendable because of the long read. This is a very long read. And for me, the meat of the matter is just the question you asked. But the court, you know, restraining the Edo State government from going ahead to inaugurate the EDSIEC committee or commission, as the case may be, given the infractions that the already statutory members of that particular commission are, you know, bringing to the fore now. You know, one thing about Nigeria, when we say that we don't have democracy, people say we are not patriotic. But I can't stand here to be patriotic by defending the indefensible.
Okay.
By towing a line that I know that is not right. You know, when you talk about democracy, democracy goes with the rule of law. And the constitution becomes the ground norm for whosoever, or how do they say it? No matter whose ox is God, the person will be treated as such through the letters of the law. You allow the wheels of the law most times grants gradually, but surely it must get to its desired end. But what do we say in Nigeria? Once you made a governor, you are a lord, you become a demigod. You become, in fact, the Nigerian president is, so to say, is even most powerful than Trump. The Nigerian president is more powerful than the Russian president. Is even more powerful than you see the war that is going on in Israel, between Israel, Hamas, and all those areas, Syria, Yemen, that they are touching and bombing, you know, to secure, you know, to tell them that this is our space. Netanyahu is not taking unilateral decisions. And remember, if left for him, because I have been following international affairs news all my life, just that I've been doing with the Nigerian local news. If left for him alone, he wouldn't have been going this far. But because he has a government of unity, his own party could not form the desired, do not have the needed majority to form a government. So he is in the government with another party that's there in coalition. And those coalition members, once they pull out, he can as well kiss his prime ministership goodbye. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying. So he cannot take a unilateral decision. Most of the hardline decisions that you say that the Israeli prime minister is taking is because of the hardline nature of the majority of that opposition group that are joining him to make sure that he stays in power. You know, power is very sweet. Yeah. Once you're there, you are the face of whatever that is going on. And Netanyahu don't want to lose that particular privilege, because his own political party cannot win a majority that can guarantee him staying in power. So immediately this particular group pulls out, they may go and join forces with another group, which may welcome them with open hands, and they form another government, meaning that Netanyahu will go. Why am I painting this picture? But in Nigeria, in the Nigerian so-called democracy, the reverse is the case. Direct opposite. You see that somebody becomes a governor, sworn in. You did not even make yourself a governor. When you win an election, you wait until a judge swears you in. Immediately he gets there, he becomes the law himself. The constitution you swear to uphold, dealing with people irrespective of color, tribe, religion, whatever, is that even with people with the disability are captured in the constitution, that you not discriminate people based on their looks or the way you perceive them, until the person is, by even when the constitution said, when you apprehend a criminal, you don't treat the person as criminal. The person is still to go through the court process, and he's still a suspect. He's still not being found guilty. Even when you apprehend somebody that's in the very act of murdering somebody, you can't prove it. Allow the court to take the decision. No, talk about a governor in abroad. They see Nigeria as a very lawless state. Sorry to say it. Some of us that went there, we know what we suffered. I painted a picture here. The day I went through Malaysia to Philippines, I was there, 3 cargo planes, 3 passenger airlines dropped. I was being searched. I was in my clerical wear. Most of my luggages are my clerical wears. And they have the invitation that I'm coming for a seminar. the embassy had it, the immigration had it, the letter. Then I have my own. What is the problem? I was discharged just from Philippines, from Malaysia to Philippines is about 4 hours or that fraction air time.
So you can't imagine, see, Michael, when we begin to paint those pictures, those gory and unpalatable pictures of what Nigerians face out there, you can't fathom it by mere imagination. So what am I saying? A governor that, even if he's not schooled about the law, he has handlers, is he not? That's why you don't employ. Off camera, I was telling you a little story that concerns me and where I ventured. Those people assume the position of the gods. They assume the position of embodiment of knowledge, which no man can arrogate unto himself. You cannot know it all. So, what is the need that you are a governor? And in the case of governor of Edo State,
Beholo, he has been in the news for the very wrong reasons recently. Look at the way you pronounce, when you are when you are reading out the statement, I saw the way you pronounce 4.8 something billion. How I wish it were to be in my view, I will give it to Governor of Edo State to pronounce.
Okay.
No. See, because when it gets to this point, they are the people that are dragging themselves out for us to scrutinize them, and that's why we are here. So the governor do not know that there are tenors that are statutory in nature, that you cannot just come as a governor by fiat. You decide to remove those people. He didn't, but he was a lawmaker, knowing that some positions in Nigeria you go through the state or national assembly to remove the person. You may have appointed the person, yes, but assuming immediately the person, any tenor that is being sworn in, that a ritual of swearing in is being performed. You know what that means? It is a statutory and tenored position that cannot be easily, but unless death, incapacitation, or maybe the person resigns. That is the three. Or maybe by gross misconduct. And that gross misconduct is not by mere accusation. You must set up a panel, a white paper will be made available, and it will be seen that investigation, the person was given a fair hearing. And you know how it can drag. And within these times, you will only suspend the person's salary or send the person. As if you want to get at the person, you say, okay, because of the exposed nature of your position, go on leave, so that we can have room to do the investigation without a hindrance. It happens. But to wake up and on your own, you think you're a governor and nothing will happen. No. And this draws me to the River State issue. Because, Nigerian politicians normally take leap and precedence from where they shouldn't. It happened in River State. President Muhammadu Buhari just declared state of emergency, which today I'm still searching and trying to hinge it with the Constitution 305. And you see the aberrations that have been going on in River State, that the sole administrator want to conduct local government election. The sole administrator that is not fathomed anywhere in the Constitution, that does not have any constitutional backing, that will go and propose a budget for a state that has an elected sitting governor. Okay. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. No. So when those things are happening, why do you think the other people will not copy? That nothing will happen. You saw the one governor of Edo State did, Obeholo, because the governor of Benin State dished out an advisory statement to Obi when he wanted to visit IDP because of the volatile nature of the place. He said, okay, don't come. his own, he went and dished out a threat. In the Igbo adage, they say that a goat will hear that another goat has delivered. He now go and deliver the one that is premature. So in some of our dealings, we say mouth will go for a fight, it will come back, but leg will go, it might not come back. So the nature of the EDSIEC appointment or positions is statutory and tenured. So a governor cannot come because now those people is perceived that they are being appointed by the immediate past governor Obaseki. What has that had to do with the work they were cut out to do?
What if he must have noticed some discrepancies in the activities, and then he feels that this body needs to be restructured?
My brother, you don't have that powers. You don't have that powers. So if Edo people feel that today that they don't like the face of Governor Obeholo, and those indigenes are very disenfranchised or disaffectionate with what he's doing, will they go there and remove him from office? They go through the House of Assembly because they have representatives. They lodge complaint to them. If they have the required number,
so you're saying the governor,
they will remove the governor only through the process of what? You can't even take him to court because he is immune.
Okay, so you're saying
you can't even start any investigation against a sitting governor because he is immune.
Okay.
So the only way you can remove either by death, some of them when they incapacitate themselves, they use stunch. They put a mole there. We saw it when the governor of the late Rotimi Akeredolu was sick. They placed a placeholder. The wife became so powerful. That's what we see in Nigeria. How many of them transmit power to their deputies when they're going out or when they're incapacitated? So in this case, if the governor of the state is not doing well and the citizens are dissatisfied, what would they do? They go through the House of Assembly. If the House of Assembly do not move that motion, there's nothing you can do. You wait for the next 4 years or whatever is remaining of his tenure. As we are hungry in Nigeria today, can we remove Bola Ahmed Tinubu? He's our president. We can cry as foul as we want to cry. If those who are standing on his mandate now, that we should even be going through them to say, okay, checkmate the excesses of Mr. President, but they are standing on his mandate, what will you do, Michael? So, the moment our elected office holders begin to understand that they have limited powers, and the powers that they wield is enshrined in the Constitution, and they draw those powers from the Constitution, and the powers that they wield is not in the SS. Even you see the case of Natasha that went to court. Natasha went to court, and the court has found out that the Senate rule is excessive. You understand? If Natasha had not gone to court, we would not have known that. So let every one of them know that it is only the rule of law that makes a society sane.
Okay.
All of us, most of us are not sane. But the sanity is incorporated. That's why in the Catholic Church we say obedience is the first law. Because if you don't have obedience, there's nothing you can do in the church. So whoever comes aligns with that, whether you like it or not, you must obey. In the military setting, they say, obey before complain. Yeah. You must obey before you say, Oga, this thing you sent me, you get a CB. Or I'm not even feeling. But you must adhere to that obligation of that obedience that is guiding it. So those people that have gone to court, despite the fact that the EDSIEC chairman is now let, but the industrial court has made it known to us that their case is still very potent and alive, because the other 5 members are still alive. So what they will do in this case is that Obeholo should jettison removing them. You know, in the states, once a governor wins election, when you come to because in November they will be having local government elections, so that they will be getting their allocations.
Okay.
You understand? You know how the Supreme Court has made their judgment that if you don't have an elected local government, there will be no funds, will not be released to the local government. So now they want to organize an election. Let those people bring out their timetable and the guidelines. The governor still has the security apparatus. He still has those that they mobilize and his supporters. After all, the whole Edo State House of Assembly, how many of them are remaining in PDP? And most of the big wigs in PDP, prior to the election, they work for APC. So they have APC. PD, APC, that's what is working in Edo State. Right. So there is no fear for him to say that those people are going to compromise the local government elections. Because if you ask me, that is where the fears are coming from. Because I'm not the person that appointed those people, they will not be loyal to me. Why will they not be loyal to you? They'll be loyal to you because you are playing the piper, you dictate the tune. And they also would like to play into your good hands. Because they have till now, till 2027. They still have 2 years. Then if you don't want them to stay the 2 years, you know, you find a way to, you know, make their duties so uncomfortable for them, so that you checkmate them and make sure they don't carry out that their own paymasters agenda. The governor has all the apparatus to make sure that those people do not work for PDP. And moreover, the way PDP is in Edo State now, they are in a state of advantage. So you cannot say that they can wield the power to come and challenge the APC in power. So Beholo should take it easy and not being in the news for the very wrong reasons. This is really, truly and purely a political vendetta, if you ask me. And that political vendetta is not those people that should suffer it. Because you don't like the face of the former governor. Or maybe the way you played your politics. Nigerian politicians should know when politics will end and governance begins. Right. And when you ask me about what is going on in this EDSIEC committee now, it is purely governance. But because he's afraid he's not the person that brought them in, after all, Jonathan brought Jiga. At the end of the day, Jiga conducted an election that ousted Jonathan. So who says that somebody that will be there, who will be guided by his conscience, will not do the needful?
All right, thank you for your opinion on that story, Mr.